They ended up taking that out apart for Ram. I think they sold it for
Welcome to the Victory Car Cruise in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. It's June 9th, 2023. It's AMC and MoPar Night. I just thought to take a look around and walk around and see what interesting cars might be here tonight. Now, my wife has a Metropolitan, but I'll tell you, this one's a little bit different. That's a Corvette engine. See the Metropolitan. This is, imagine, a lot more than the 38 horsepower and her stock Metropolitan. A lot of mid-engine Vettes are out now. Personally, I'm more of a front-engine Vette purist, but I wouldn't mind having either one. Cool flame job on that. Funny thing is, when you get to the point where the cars you see at antique car shows are all the cars your friends drove in high school. It's a rare one. See if I can get that. You can see in there a mid-engine. It's a Monte Carlo SS. My mom almost bought one of these when I was in high school, but the salesperson wouldn't put white wall tires on it. In fact, he laughed at her, which, yeah, this is not a car for white wall tires, but that caused no sale on that. This is closer to what I had. This is a 78 Monte Carlo. I had a 79. It was same color interior and everything, which is pretty nice. There are a lot of new Chargers, Challengers, Camaros. I really think they have brought the muscle car back. Hey, it's Joey's World. Welcome in. Okay. Learning live streaming, so I couldn't see the chat. My son has developed an interest recently in 1930s and 40s cars, thinking it would be a great car for his first car in the drive to high school. I don't know about that. If you guys think that that would be a great choice, let me know in the chat. Personally, I think it's be kind of rough to have a older car that isn't necessarily the most dependable as a first car. Hey, Zachary, welcome in. There's nothing like summer in a convertible.
There's really no difference. Yeah, but like, well, I like to go home. I'll go by it. I sit down with a girl and I said,
We were all taking a look at this van earlier. These folks have owned this van since 1976, and it's still remarkably good inside. Next to it is one of the super trucks of the 90s, the GMC Cyclone, and the SUV version of that, I believe, was the GMC Typhoon. This is the Phantom Jeep Festival in Pittsburgh this week. So there's several Jeeps in attendance. This particular one is a Ford version of the Jeep.
Yeah, the only people that made the Jeeps were Willys and Ford. That was it.
And a lot of AMCs represented. Nothing like a Packard. The show does get a good share of race cars too. Zachary's current favorite. 33 Pontiac with a straight 8 engine.
Get the back of the car too. I was like, okay, it's a nice back, nice presentation in the back.
Hey Amy, welcome in. This is in Cranberry tonight. The Wexford show unfortunately ended a few years back because they sold the land to Allegheny General for the new AGH hospital. And fortunately, Victory, just a few miles up the road, was able to pick it up. A little less space here. Wexford, the Starlight Cruise, had capped over 1,500 cars on opening and closing weekend, and routinely was around 1,000. Here the lot is 600, but it doesn't usually get that filled. So this particular blue one here is my wife's. It's a 77 AMC Gremlin with 19,000 miles on it. And it's still pretty much like brand new. It hasn't even been washed since taking it out of the garage. But it's a remarkably intact car. And some of the first all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive cars for the AMC Eagles. Believe it or not, this car and this car are actually cousins. The Gremlin evolved into the all-wheel drive version and redesigned body of the Eagle SX4. And you have the Javelins. This one has the big 401 engine. But they have that unique fender hump, which is pretty unique to the Javelin. Hey Doug, welcome in. Got about 2 more rows of cars here, and that'll be it. I think I'll finish up in time for everybody can hop over to Jennifer Caruso's stream. Oh, I got to put this in for Movie Mania Nick. It's my friend Alex DeLorean. We brought the Gremlin tonight, so can only drive one at a time.
There's been a guy named Eric. He's got one. Lives in Cranberry. He's got one out at DI coming back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had to rebuild the big rebuild on it. So I gave him our website. I mean, our Facebook stuff.
Perfect.
That's
Cool.
Eric Murray.
Okay. I'll stop back a little later and talk. Okay. That's always fun. As a new DeLorean owner in Cranberry. So our little town of 25,000 people at one point had 5 DeLoreans. Here's Doug's new car. What do you think, Doug? You take this down to Florida next time? It's an interesting MoPar insignia. In the 60s, they started putting this symbol, which a lot of, if you're old enough, you remember, which is referred to as the Fratzog. It was a MoPar symbol for many years, and I think they started bringing it back. But it's only on the curb side. They never put it on the driver's side.
Judging by that, it looks like you're a MoPar guy. So I'm okay with Yeah. Look at how this
Rather unusual entry for a car show is this repurposed ambulance. Don't know the story on it, but I bet it's an interesting one. Hey, that Metropolitan moved up to the front row now. Amy, the Vintage Grand Prix. Yes and no. I love to go there when I can. The problem is it almost always is the same weekend as Chrysler's of Carlisle. So I run a group of 1955 to 61 Mopar people. There's, I think on Facebook we have over 50,000 people in it, so pretty big group. So I'm almost always out there for that. I don't think I've missed one since the mid 90s, but that always ends up being the same weekend. When it isn't, which is rare, we usually try to head down. It's a great show. You see things you don't see anywhere else, and with the races, it's fantastic. For those that aren't familiar, the Shenley Park is an old city park in Pittsburgh, and they kind of close it off and have vintage cars racing. And it's not like just a exhibition type of thing. They're racing hard, really hard, and it's amazing to see some of these old cars tearing around the corners. It really just astounding speeds for cars as old as they are, and the drivers love them. They just love to take them out and run them like that. As they say, that's what they're made for. These old race cars. They're not made to sit in a parking lot. They're made to be on the road, and they work them hard. It's a very fun show, and it is a big fundraiser for autism. So it's always a great great time to visit that one. The show itself is free as a spectator, or the races. There's entry fees and different events leading up to it. Probably about a 3 week lead in at least, with different events and charity events and dinners and nights out and cruises.
I can't even think of it.
So they only started doing the stickers in the windows. I think it was 1959 or 1960. There was a thing, I believe it was the Monroney sticker. There was a congressperson that wanted to make sure that the manufacturers listed a price, suggested price, so that people had a better idea how to negotiate. And this car you see was the original price was $23.95 and 54 cents. It had a trade-in, down payment, and ended up owing $1,530 on it, which was 24 months at $70.16. That's a car payment I can afford. Well, that's our quick walk around. My wife will be back in a little bit. She's going to follow us home in the Gremlin. This is the first time it's been on the road in, I think 11 years. So Took it right out of the garage and right to a show. It's not even washed. So, a little bit of cleaning to do. But thanks everybody for stopping in. And don't forget, Jennifer Caruso has a stream right from the Bahamas, I believe, tonight, starting at 7 Eastern. Well, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.